Let's start with SEO, which is short for search engine optimization. There are a lot of shady SEO tactics out there, and we're not going to cover those here. My philosophy is one of long-term value. I think you'll gain a lot more by playing the long game and focusing on the quality of your content than by employing spammy short-term tactics that may come back to haunt you in the future. Let me give you an example. Years ago, a bunch of sleazy marketers realized they could get a lot of backlinks by going to thousands of random blogs and leaving incoherent comments with links back to their sites. That actually worked for a while, but eventually Google got wise and penalized all of them. So as the editor of a popular blog, I started getting emails from companies begging me, even offering money in some cases, to remove the spammy comments their old SEO agency left on their behalf, because those links were now negatively impacting their search rankings. Don't make that mistake. You can get plenty of backlinks by earning them and doing other kinds of legitimate promotion. If you feel the need to game the system, your content probably isn't good enough. Focus on that first. What I do want to cover here is on-site SEO. That is, optimizing your website's code and content to maximize your visibility on Google and other search engines. This doesn't have to be a hard process. In fact, WordPress plays pretty well with search engines right out of the box. But it doesn't hurt to fine-tune some things to improve your results. Before we dive deeper, I should mention that the primary goal of Google and other search engines is to deliver the most relevant, high-quality results for any given search query. That means that you as a creator and webmaster should be focused primarily on two things: content quality and user experience. Content quality is about giving people exactly what they're looking for, whether that's an informative list, an in-depth tutorial, or a comprehensive product review. User experience has to do with the mechanics of your website itself. For example, do your pages load quickly? Is your site mobile responsive? Once you've got all that covered, you'll want to optimize the code on your site to be as descriptive and readable for search engines as possible, while targeting the specific keywords you'd like to rank for. To do this, I recommend using the free Yoast SEO plugin, which is available from the WordPress repository. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this, but we'll go through the essentials. There's an excellent WordPress SEO guide on Yoast.com if you'd like to dive deeper. The first thing you'll want to do is customize your permalink structure, which determines what your post URLs look like. You don't even need a plugin for this one. Just head over to the permalinks page under settings in your WordPress dashboard. The default setting looks like this. It's pretty ugly and not very search engine friendly. I recommend switching to a structure that contains your post name and preferably just your post name. Once you set this up, you'll have an option on the new post screen to set a custom slug for the post. Otherwise, it'll be auto-generated from your post title. In either case, it's more search engine friendly than the random string of numbers you'd get from the default setting. Next, we're going to optimize your page titles for SEO using the Yoast SEO plugin. Page titles are super important for SEO. They serve not only as the actual title of the page, but also as the first line people see in the search results. Ideally, the keywords you want to rank for should come early in your page titles, and that's for two reasons. First, search engines give more ranking weight to the early words, and second, people scanning the search results, just skimming through, will see the early words first. So if your keywords appear early in your page titles, you're more likely to rank highly, and people are more likely to click to your site. What that means is you don't want the name of your blog to come before the title of your post in the page title. Go to the Titles and Metas section in Yoast, then click Post Types, and make sure the post title comes first. That's just your default setting, though. You can also customize the page title for an individual post where appropriate. The Yoast plugin automatically adds a new panel to the new post page where you can override your default settings. Good titles are descriptive and enticing, contain your target keyword, preferably at the beginning, and contain your brand name, preferably at the end. Next, we have meta descriptions. These are used by search engines for the black text at the bottom of a listing. By default, a snippet will be pulled from your page content based on what the user searched for. But for best results, you should write it yourself on a post-by-post basis using the field that Yoast gives you. There's really no way to automate this. You really have to do it for each individual post. So make sure it contains the keyword you like to rank for at least once, and use it to entice the reader to click through. One of the great things about the Yoast plugin is that you can enter your focus keyword and it'll analyze your content and tell you how optimized your site is to rank for that particular keyword. I recommend doing that with every new post before you hit publish. It's also a good idea to optimize your images, which is something most people overlook. Anytime you add an image to a post, add a descriptive alt attribute to tell search engines what the image is. This can get you a little more search traffic by helping your photos rank on Google Images, for example, and it'll also help visually impaired readers make sense of your content if they're using a screen reader. Finally, Yoast allows you to quickly and easily set up an XML sitemap, which allows Google and other search engines to know when your site is updated. Go to the XML sitemaps page in the Yoast plugin and make sure it's enabled. There are some options you can edit, but you're probably fine leaving everything as is. Now when you publish a new post or page, the new sitemap is automatically submitted to Google and Bing so they can quickly and easily index your new content. Like I said, if you'd like to dive deeper, I recommend checking out the WordPress SEO tutorial on Yoast.com. It's a long read, but it'll give you a much more comprehensive look at SEO in the world of WordPress. With that said, if you just implement the tips in this lecture, you're already way ahead of most new bloggers.